Act 3, Scene 2 continuation. First citizen. Oh, piteous spectacle. মানে what a pitiable sight. Second citizen. Oh, noble Caesar. মানে oh, noble Caesar, he is telling. Third citizen. Oh, woeful day. What a sorrowful day. Fourth citizen. Oh, traitors, villains. Fourth citizen. They are traitors and villains who committed this murder. First citizen. Oh, most bloody sight. Second citizen. We will be revenged. Now he's coming to the point that they'll take a revenge. Now, citizens, revenge about seek, burn, fire, kill, slay, let not a traitor leave. So, citizens, all the citizens are telling, yes, revenge, let us go for a revenge. Look for the traitors, burn their houses, set fire to their homes, kill them, butcher them, let not a traitor escape death. মানে চলো রিভেঞ্জ নেব, আমরা যাব ফর উই উইল গো ফর রিভেঞ্জ, লুক ফর ট্রেটার্স, যত রাজ্যের ট্রেটার আছে তাদের খোঁজো, বার্ন দেয়ার হাউসেস, তাদের ঘরকে পুড়িয়ে দাও, সেট ফায়ার টু দেয়ার হোমস, তাদের বাড়িতে আগুন লাগিয়ে দাও, কিল দেম, তাদেরকে মেরে ফেলো, বুচার দেম, let not a traitor escape death. এই যে revenge about, all the citizens are telling together, revenge about, seek, burn, fire, kill, slay, nor let not a traitor live. Yes, revenge. Let us go about for revenge. Look for the traitors, burn their houses, set fire to their homes, kill them, butcher them. Let not a traitor escape death. Antony, stay, countrymen. Wait, countrymen. First citizen. Peace here. Hear the noble Antony. Be silent. Listen to what noble Antony has to say. Second citizen will hear him. We will follow him. We will die with him. We will listen to him. We will follow his lead and will, if necessary, die with him. We'll listen to him. We will follow his lead and will, if necessary, die with him. Anthony, good friends, sweet friends, let me not stir you up to such a sudden flood of mutiny. They have done this deed as honorable. What private griefs they have, alas, I know not, that made them do it. They are wise and honorable, and will no doubt with reasons answer you. I come not, friends, to steal away your hearts. I am no orator as Brutus is, but as you know me all, a plain, blunt man, that love my friend and that they know full well, that gave me public leave to speak of him. For I have neither wit, nor words, nor what, action, nor utterance, nor the power of speech to stir men's blood. I only speak right on. I'll tell you that which you yourselves do know, show you swift scissors wounds, poor dumb mouths, and beat them speak to me. But were I Brutus and Brutus Antony, there were an Antony who'd ruffle up your spirits and put a tongue in every wound of Caesar that should move the stones of Rome to raise and mutiny. So, this is another important speech of Antony. He says, good friends, kind friends, let me not incite you to such a sudden outburst of rebellion. He is continuously telling that he will not incite them, incite, incite them to such a sudden outburst of rebellion. Those who have done this deed are men of honor. What personal grievances against Caesar led them to do this deed? Alas, I do not know. They are wise and honorable. and will therefore certainly give you satisfactory reasons for what they have done. My friends, I have come to win your hearts. বলছে good friends, kind friends, let me not incite you to such a sudden outburst level. আমি তোমাদেরকে উস্কোতে আসিনি মারপিট করার জন্য রেবেলিয়নের চলে যেতে। Those who have done this deed are men of honor. যারা এই কাজগুলো করেছে তারা খুব honorable men. What personal grievances against Caesar led them to do this deed, তাদের পার্সোনাল গ্রিভেন্সেস ছিল সিজারের বিরুদ্ধে, তাই তারা এরকম একটা কাজ করেছে। Alas, I do not know, আমি জানি না কেন। They are wise and honorable, তারা কিন্তু wise আর honorable, and will therefore certainly give you satisfactory reasons for what they have done. তারা স্যাটিসফ্যাক্টরি রিজন নিশ্চয়ই দেবে। They are wise and honorable and will therefore certainly give you satisfactory reasons for what they have done. নিশ্চয়ই তারা স্যাটিসফ্যাক্টরি রিজন দেবে তোমাদের কাছে কেন তারা এটা করেছে। মাই ফ্রেন্ডস, আই হ্যাভ কাম টু উইন ইউর হার্ট, আমি এসেছি তোমাদের মন জয় করতে। আই এম নট অ্যান eloquent and effective speaker like Brutus. I am not a very good orator like Brutus. I am not an eloquent, eloquent, eloquent and effective speaker like Brutus. I am, as you all know, a plain spoke person, বা spokesman who plain spoken man. আমি একদম প্লেন একটা স্পোকেন ম্যান, আমি ব্রুটাসের মতো গ্রেট অরেটার নই। who loved his friend and they who gave me permission to speak in the public are fully aware of this fact. যারা আমাকে এই পাবলিকলি কথা বলতে দিয়েছে, এই স্পিচটা ডেলিভার করতে দিয়েছে, তারাও এটা জানে। For I have neither cleverness nor fluency nor merit nor gesture nor skillful elocution nor a forceful manner of speaking to arouse the passions of men. ওর কি কি নেই বলছে? ও বলছে I am, as you all know, a plain spoken man who loved his friend and who gave me permission to speak in the public are fully aware of this. জানে তারা, যারা আমাকে কথা বলতে দিয়েছে, যে আমি সিজারের খুব ক্লোজ ফ্রেন্ড ছিলাম আর ভালোবাসতাম সিজারকে। ফর আই হ্যাভ নিদার ক্লেভারনেস, না আমার ক্লেভারনেস আছে, না ফ্লুয়েন্সি আছে, না মেরিট আছে, না জেস্টার আছে, না স্কিলফুল এলোকিউশন আছে, না ফোর্সফুল ম্যানার অফ স্পিকিং আছে টু অ্যারাউজ দ্য প্যাশনস অফ মেন। কি কি নেই? Neither have cleverness, number one, nor fluency, two, nor merit, three, nor gesture, four, nor skillful elocution, five, nor a forceful manner of speaking to rouse the passions of men, six, I only speak straight on. Normally আমি straight forward কথা বলি। I'm simply telling you what is already known to you. যা তোমরা জানো সেটাই আমি আবার বলছি। আই এম শোয়িং ইউ জেন্টল scissors wounds which are like poor dumb mouths and call upon those wounds to speak for me. আমি তোমাদেরকে ওই সিজারের উন্ডি দেখাচ্ছি আর ডাম পুয়ার মাউথ গুলো দেখাচ্ছি, যাতে ওই ডাম পুয়ার মাউথ গুলো আমার হয়ে কথা বলে। But if I were Brutus and if Brutus were Antony, you would find in him one who speaking in the same object as myself. যদি আমি ব্রুটাস হতাম আর ব্রুটাস অ্যান্থনি হতো তাহলেও, but if I were Brutus and if Brutus were Antony, you would find in him one who speaking the same object as myself. একই ভাবে সেও কথা বলতো, would stir your spirits to rage. কিন্তু তারা, ব্রুটাস যদি আমার জায়গায় থাকতো তাহলে তোমাদেরকেও স্পিরিটসকে একদম উস্কে ইয়েতে নিয়ে যেত। and would make every wound of Caesar speak so forcefully that, এবং প্রত্যেকটা wound of Caesar কে এত ফোর্সফুলি কথা বলাতে পারতো যে even the stones of Rome would rise to revolt against Caesar's murderers. তখন স্টোনও রোমের উঠে would rise to revolt against Caesar's murderers. My friends, do not make my words to be the cause of so hasty an anger. My friends, do not make my words to be the cause of so hasty an anger. My words should not cause you to rise in sudden rebellion against the murderers of Caesar. My words should not cause you or force you to rise in sudden rebellion against the murderers of Caesar, if for they are honorable men. I do not know what personal grievance they had against Caesar, but they'll give you sufficient reason to justify their deeds. আমি জানি না তাদের what personal grievance they had against Caesar. I don't know what personal grievance they had against Caesar, but they'll give you sufficient reason to just justify their deeds. Dear Romans, I came here not to win you over by my thoughts and feelings. He didn't come, he was not there to win over his thoughts and feelings by working on their emotions. I, being a common and simple man and not a skillful speaker like Brutus, you all know me as a straightforward and unpolished man who loved Caesar. This is also well known to those honorable men who have given me permission to speak to you in the praise of Caesar. I am powerless to move your hearts either by cleverness or by my words, as my words are not proper and cannot carry any influence on the audience. My speaking is defective, and I am not able to accompany my speech with suitable gestures of my hands. I just speak out whatever comes to my mind, and so I inform you of the facts which you already know. কি বলছে আই জাস্ট স্পিক আউট হোয়াট এভার কামস টু মাই মাইন্ড, সেটাই বলে যেটা আমার মাথায় আসছে। সো আই ইনফর্ম ইউ অফ দ্য ফ্যাক্টস উইচ ইউ অলরেডি নো, সেইগুলোই বলছি তোমাদেরকে যেগুলো তোমরা জানো। আই জাস্ট শো ইউ দ্য মাল্টিপল wounds met in the body of mighty Caesar, সেই মাল্টিপল wound গুলো দেখাচ্ছি যেগুলো মাইটি সিজারের বডিতে আছে। লিভ them to speak to you with the dumbness. But if I have the skill of speaking like Brutus, I could have roused you to the highest level of excitement and made you to see the wrongs that Caesar had suffered. I have the skill of speaking like Brutus, Brutusের মতো কথা বলার skill আছে। I could have roused you to the highest level of excitement, একদম highest level of excitement এ তোমাকে পৌঁছে দিতাম, made you to see the wrongs that Caesar had suffered. তোমাকে দেখাতাম সিজার এর কি কি ভুল করেছিল সাফারিং এর জন্য। বাই দিস ইভেন দ্য স্টোনস অফ দ্য সিটি উড রাইজ আপ, স্টোনও সিটির জেগে উঠবে ইন রেবেলিয়ন এগেইনস্ট দিস ট্রেটার্স অ্যান্ড স্টার্ট আর রেভলিউশন। এই এই ট্রেটারদের বিরুদ্ধে রেবেলিয়ন করবে আর স্টার্ট করবে একটা রেভলিউশন। সিটিজেন্স উই অল মিউটিনি, আমরা যুদ্ধ এবার নামবই। We will all declare a mutiny. First citizen, we will burn the house of Brutus. Bas shuru. We will now burn down the house of Brutus. Third citizen, away then, come seek the conspirators. Go and search out the murderers. Anthony, you hear me, countrymen, yet hear me speak. Anthony বলছে, my dear Romans, listen to me, allow me to speak some words. Citizens, peace, ho, hear Anthony, most noble Anthony. Citizens বলছে, silence, keep quiet everybody, listen to Anthony. এবার Anthony, why friends, you go to do you know not what? Wherein hath Caesar thus deserved your loves? Alas, you know not. I must tell you then. You have forgotten the wheel I told of. Anthony বলছে, my dear friends, you do not realize where your emotions are taking you. তোমরা জানোও না কোথায় তোমাদেরকে ইমোশন নিয়ে যাচ্ছে। How has Caesar deserved all his love from you? You are going to do something without knowing the reasons for doing it. বলছে তোমরা এমন কিছু করতে যাচ্ছ যেটার রিজনই জানো না কেন তোমরা করছো। In what way has Caesar proved himself worthy of your love? কেন সিজার তোমাদেরকে মানে নিজেকে worthy of love বলে মনে করলে? In what way has Caesar proved himself worthy of your love? Alas, you do not know. I must tell you then. You have forgotten the wheel about which I told you. তোমরা সেই wheelএর কথা ভুলে গেছো যেই ব্যাপারে তোমায় আমি বলেছিলাম। Perfectly true. Let us stop and hear the wheel. এবার এইবার আমি হিয়ার করব উইল। এই যে মোর ট্রু দ্য উইল, লেটস স্টে অ্যান্ড হিয়ার দ্য উইল। এবার উইলটা নিয়ে বলছে অ্যান্টনি। Here is the wheel, and under Caesar's seal, to every Roman citizen he gives, to every several man, 75 Dutchmans. এবার অ্যান্টনি বলছে, here is the wheel and it bears Caesar's seal and signature. To every Roman citizen, to every individual citizen, he leaves an amount of 75 drachmas. ড্রাচমাস মানে সিলভার কয়েন্স। বলছে এক একজন সিটিজেনের জন্য 75 ড্রাচমাস করে রেখে গেছে। সেকেন্ড সিটিজেন, মোস্ট নোবেল সিজার, উই উইল রিভেঞ্জ হিজ ডেথ। সেকেন্ড সিটিজেন বলল, মোস্ট নোবেল সিজার, উই উইল অ্যাভেঞ্জ হিজ মার্ডার। থার্ড সিটিজেন, ও রয়্যাল সিজার, ও মোস্ট জেনারেস সিজার, অ্যান্টনি, হিয়ার মি উইথ পেশেন্স, অ্যান্টনি, হিয়ার মি পেশেন্টলি। এবার all the citizens together, peace, ho, citizens, silence, everybody. Anthony, moreover, he hath left you all his works, his private arbors and new planted orchards. On this side Tiber he hath left them you, and to your heirs forever common pleasures to walk about and recreate yourselves. Here was a Caesar when comes such another. এবার মার্ক অ্যান্থনি বলছে, in addition to that he has left you all his works, his personal groves, and his newly planted fruit gardens in this side of river Tiber. বলছে, in addition to this he has left you all his works, his personal groves, and his newly planted fruit gardens on this side of river Tiber. He has left these to you and to your heirs for all times to come. বলছে এইটার সাথে আরো উনি কি কি রেখে গেছেন সিজার? সিজার রেখে গেছে, in addition to that he has left you all his works, যত মানে যেই জায়গাগুলো, his personal groups মানে shady retreats মানে প্রাইভেট আরবার রেখে গেছে। এই যে আরবার মানে shady grooves মানে personal grooves, ওয়াক্স মানে গার্ডেন্স। হ্যাঁ, he has left you all his works মানে he has left gardens for you, his personal groves, 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 mangrove grove, এই বিভিন্ন অর্চার্ডকে গ্রোভ বলে না, সেই গ্রোভ, শেডি রিট্রিটস, and his newly planted fruit gardens in the side of river Tiber. He has left these to you and to your heirs for all times to come. তোমাদের আর তোমাদের এয়ারদের জন্য রেখে গেছে। He has left these to be enjoyed by you all. তোমাদের সবাই যাতে তোমরা এনজয় করতে পারো সেই জন্য রেখে গেছে। And for you to walk about and refresh yourself, যাতে তোমরা ওইখানে গিয়ে ঘুরে নিজেকে রিফ্রেশ করতে পারো। Here was a man worthy of the name of Caesar. Are we likely again to find another Caesar of this kind? একটা মানে নাম যে তার সিজার সেটা ওয়ার্থ ইট। হিয়ার ওয়াজ আ ম্যান ওয়ার্দি অফ দ্য সেম নেম অফ সিজার। আর উই লাইকলি অগেইন টু ফাইন্ড আনাদার সিজার অফ দিস কাইন্ড, এরকম কি আর কাউকে কখনো পাবে? ফার্স্ট রিজন, never, never, come away, we will burn his body in the holy place, and with the brand's fire the traitors houses take up the body. The first citizen বলছে, never, never, never again, আর কখনো পাবো না। come, let us go away from here, we will cremate, cremate Caesar's body in the sacred grounds, and with the burning sticks set to fire to the houses of the traitors, carry the body. বলছে সিজারের বডিটাকে সেক্রেট গ্রাউন্ডে নিয়ে যাব, বার্নিং স্টিক্স উইল বি সেট টু ফায়ার টু দ্য হাউসেস অফ দ্য ট্রেটার্স। এবার আর সিজারের বডি যাবে সেক্রেট গ্রাউন্ডে ফর ক্রেমেশন, টু বি ক্রেমেটেড, আর বার্নিং স্টিক্স নিয়ে গিয়ে যত হাউসকে জ্বালিয়ে দেবো ট্রেটার্স এর, ক্যারি দ্য বডি। সেকেন্ড সিটিজেন, গো অ্যান্ড ব্রিং ফায়ার। থার্ড সিটিজেন, পুল ডাউন দ্য বেঞ্চেস টু লাইট দ্য ফায়ার, pluck down benches. এবার ফোর্থ সিটিজেন, pluck down forms, windows and anything মানে Pull down frames, windows, and anything you can lay your hands on. যা আছে ফ্রেম উইন্ডো যা আছে হাতের কাছে সব নামাও দিয়ে চলো পোড়াও. Exit citizens with the body. Now, Antony, now let it work. Mischief thou art afoot. Take thou what cause thou wilt. Now let the poison work in their minds. Very, very important. Mischief you have started, you may know now. Follow any course of action you like. The anger which I have inflicted into the minds of the citizens will now surely work. যে অ্যাঙ্গারটা আমি যে আগুন যে রাগ আমি ছড়িয়ে দিয়েছি সব সিটিজেনের মধ্যে এবার এটা নিশ্চয়ই কাজ করবে. I have let though lose the spirit of mischief and it will work on its own way. আমি spirit of mischief কে পুরো ছেড়ে দিয়েছি এবার সে তার মতো কাজ করবে. Now let the poison work in their minds. Mischief you have started, you may now follow any course of action you like. Anger which I have inflicted into the minds of the citizens will now surely work. I have let loose the spirit of mischief and it will work on its own way. What is the matter, fellow? Fellow, what have you come here for? Sir, Octavius has already come to Rome. Octavius Rome has already arrived. Where is he? কোথায় Octavius? Servant, he and Lepidus are at Caesar's house. সে আর লেপিডাস সিজারের বাড়িতে আছে. Antony, and thither will I straight to visit him. Antony বলছে I'll visit them there straight away. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry and this mood will give us anything. Anthony বলছে I'll visit them there straight away. He has come just as I wished for him. ভালোই হয়েছে লেপিডাস আর এসে গেছে অক্টেভিয়াস মানে অক্টেভিয়াস এসে গেছে. হি অ্যান্ড লেপিডাস আর অ্যাট সিজার্স হাউস. সে আর লেপিডাস সিজারের হাউসে আছে. তখন অ্যান্টনি বলছে and hither will I straight to visit him. He comes upon a wish. Fortune is merry and in this mood he'll give us anything. বলছে I'll visit them here straight away. এক্ষুনি যাবো আর দেখা করবো ওদের সাথে. He has come just as I wished for him. ভালোই হয়েছে অক্টেভিয়াস এসছে. আমি চাইছিলাম সে আসুক. The good goddess of fortune is generous. Goddess of fortune খুব generous and in this mood will grant us anything we may desire. আর এই সময় goddess of fortune এর কাছে আমরা যা চাইবো তাই দিয়ে দেবে. Servant, I hear him say Brutus and Cassius and read like madmen through the gates of Rome. বলছে servant বলছে I heard him say that Brutus and Cassius have ridden with the speed and fury of madmen through the gates of Rome to save their lives. বলছে I have heard Octavius saying that Cassius and Brutus had been riding out of the city gates. ও বাবা অক্টেভিয়াস বলছে I heard servant বলছে যে I heard Octavius saying that আমি শুনলাম অক্টেভিয়াস বলছে যে Cassius আর Brutus had been riding out of the city gates পালিয়ে গেছে রোম ছেড়ে to save their lives. Antony, be like they had some notice of the people. Now I had moved them, bring me to Octavius. Probably they got some information about the manner in which I stirred the people. Take me to Octavius. বলছে probably they got some information about the matter in which I had stirred the people. Probably they had got the information of my success in rousing the emotions and rebellion in Roman citizens' hearts by my words. Take me to Octavius, dear. বলছে কিছু ইনফরমেশন পেয়েছে অ্যাবাউট দ্য ম্যানার ইন হুইচ আই স্টায়ার্ড দ্য পিপল. নিশ্চয়ই জানতে পেরে গেছে ওরা যে কিভাবে আমি লোককে উত্তপ্ত করেছি. টেক মি টু অক্টেভিয়াস, আমাকে এবার অক্টেভিয়াসের কাছে নিয়ে যাও. অ্যান্টনি বলছে যে প্রবাবলি দে গট সাম ইনফরমেশন, Be like they had some notice of the people, now how I had moved them, bring me to Octavius. বলছে ওরা নিশ্চয়ই জানতে পেরেছে আমি কিভাবে এই যে probably they got some information of the manner in which I stirred the people, কিভাবে লোককে উত্তপ্ত করেছি বোধহয় জানতে পেরেছে, take me to Octavius, অক্টেভিয়াসের কাছে নিয়ে চলো আমায়। আর এটা হচ্ছে অ্যাক্ট 5 সিন 5 এর লাস্ট একটা জায়গা যেখানে একদম লাস্ট অ্যান্টনি স্পিচ আর তারপর অক্টেভিয়াসের স্পিচ এই দিয়ে শেষ হবে, মার্ক অ্যান্থনি আর অক্টেভিয়াস সিজারের স্পিচ দুটো, মার্ক অ্যান্থনি স্পিচ followed by Octavius Caesar's speech. This was the noblest Roman of them all. All the conspirators, save only he, did that they did in envy of great Caesar. He only, in a general honest thought and common good to all, made one of them. His life was gentle in the elements so mixed in him that nature might stand up and say to the world, this was a man. Antony বলছে Brutus was the most honorable Roman of them all. All the conspirators except Brutus murdered Caesar because of their jealousy of him. Brutus was the only one who joined the conspiracy with an honorable. Brutus was the only one who joined the conspiracy with an honorable purpose toward the community and for the common good of all Romans. Brutus was the only one who joined the conspiracy with an honorable purpose towards the community and for the common good of all Romans. His life was noble, and the various humors was so nicely balanced in him that nature might stand up and declare to the whole world that he was a perfect man. His life, Brutus was the only one who joined the conspiracy with an honorable purpose towards the community and for the common good of all Romans. His life was noble, and the various humors were so nicely balanced in him that nature might stand up and declare to the whole world that he was a perfect man. Octavius. এবার অক্টেভিয়াস কি বলছে, according to his virtue let us use him with all respect and rites of burial. Within my tent his bones tonight shall lie, most like a soldier ordered honorably. So call the field to rest and let's away to part the glories of this happy day. Octavius বলছে, let us treat his dead body on account of his good qualities, showing him all respect, and let us perform all the funeral rites in his honor. His dead body will lie tonight inside my tent, as a soldier should, and be treated with due honor. Give a signal to the troops to rest, and let us leave this place to share the glories of this victorious day. কি বলছে, let us treat his body on account of his good qualities, showing him all respect, ভালো করে বডিকে মানে রেসপেক্ট দিয়ে ট্রিট করব, funeral rites honor, funeral rites would be performed with honor, যত funeral rites আছে সেটা পারফর্ম করব with honor, আর his body will lie tonight inside my tent, আজ রাত্রে বডিটা আমার টেন্টে থাকবে, and he should be treated with honor. Give a signal to the troops to rest, সিগন্যাল দাও ট্রুপকে যাতে তারা এবার বিশ্রাম নেয়, and let us leave this place to share the glories of this victorious day. চলো এই জায়গাটা ছেড়ে চলে যায় যাতে এই হ্যাপি ডেটাকে আমরা এনজয় করতে পারি। In this end we shall treat Brutus with all respect and honor. We will arrange all the rites and funeral ceremonies which a virtuous and dignified man like him fully deserved. We will arrange, in this end we shall treat Brutus with all respect and honor. We will arrange all the rites and funeral ceremonies which a virtuous and dignified man like him fully deserved. যা সে একটা ভার্চুয়াস আর ডিগনিফাইড ম্যান হিসেবে পাওয়া উচিত, we will arrange for all rites and funeral ceremonies which a virtuous and dignified man like him fully deserved. Tonight his dead body shall be kept in my tent with all formalities which a brave and honorable warrior deserves. Let us give our soldiers a signal to do rest for now. Later on we shall divide amongst ourselves and distribute among others the glorious honors of victory which we have achieved in this happy day. We will divide amongst ourselves and distribute among others the glorious honors of victory which we have achieved on this happy day. Next, notes from Act 3, Scene 1. The third act provides the crisis of the play. Caesar enters the Capitol with pomp and show, page number 240 of Xavier Pinto. The third act provides the crisis of the play. Caesar enters the Capitol with pomp and show. He ignores the warnings given by the soothsayer and Artemidorus. The conspirators crowd around Caesar in support of a petition presented by Metellus Cimber. The conspirators crowd around Caesar in support of a petition presented by Metellus Cimber. Caesar shows his arrogance and refuses to change his decision. At this juncture, Casca stabs him. The other conspirators follow suit and suit, and Caesar dies with the words "Eat to brute" on his lips. Eat, tu brut, brute. Subsequently, Antony makes his peace with the conspirators. Makes peace with the conspirators. Brutus gives permission to Antony to deliver a funeral oration for Caesar. At the end of the scenes, Antony prophesies bloodshed and civil war. Now meanings. Your best leisure, mane when it is more convenient for you. Sweet, mane request, suit, sweet mane request. That nearer, that affects Caesar personally. Served, mane dealt with. Sudden, mane quick. We fear prevention, mane we are afraid of being stopped. This মানে এই যে আমাদের প্লটটা, টার্ন ব্যাক মানে রিটার্ন অ্যালাইভ, কনস্ট্যান্ট মানে ফার্ম, পারপাস মানে কনস্পিরেসি, knows his name মানে knows that proper time to engage Caesar in conversation. Addressed মানে ready, press, crowd, second, support, rears, raises, amiss, wrong, and children make what is predestined and obtained by law from the beginning as liable to change like the rules made by children. Acha. Olympus ki? A mountain in Greece said to be the home of gods. Olympus ki, a mountain in Greece said to be the home of gods. Caesar says that he is unshakable as Mount Olympus. Olympus একটা mountain in Greece which is said to be the home of gods. Caesar says that he is unshakable as Mount Olympus. Enfranchisement মানে emancipation. আর একটা হচ্ছে ডুমসডে মানে কি the last day of judgment, the last day on which as per Bible the world would end. Doomsday মানে the last day of judgment, the last day on which as per the Bible the world would end. আরেকটা হলো এইটা, এই যে লিটারালি লিথি মানে লাইফ ব্লাড, LETHE লিথি মানে লাইফ ব্লাড। আর ব্রেভ হার্ট, HART হার্ট, ব্রেভ হার্ট মানে ইট ইজ আ পান। ব্রেভ স্ট্যাগ মানে একটা ব্রেভ ডিয়ার। Courageous heart of Caesar, a stag, a hart, HART heart is brought to bay when it has been hunted to a halt and forced to face the hounds. Very important. Brave heart is a pun. Brave heart, stag, or courageous heart of Caesar. A stag or hart is brought to bay when it has been hunted to a halt and forced to face the hounds. এবার এই যে, the world was the forest in which Caesar roamed as freely as a stag. He was so great that he was the heart of the world. So this is also a pun. Cry havoc মানে to give signal for destruction. Only a king could give such an order, which was the signal for mass slaughter and plunder. Only a king could give such an order, which was the signal for mass slaughter and plunder. The dogs of war money, war is described as a destructive hunter with fierce dogs. The war is described as a destructive hunter like the fierce dogs. Narvi, the warlike Gallic tribes whom Caesar conquered in 57 BCE. Narvi, very important. Nervii. Narvi ki, the warlike Gallic tribes whom Caesar conquered in 57 BC. Caesar fought bravely and his victory was celebrated with great pomp in Rome. Narviki, the warlike Gallic tribes whom Caesar conquered in 57 BC. Caesar fought bravely and his victory was celebrated with great pomp in Rome. Act 3, Scene 2. This scene shows the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. The citizens demand to know why Caesar was murdered. Brutus calmly explains to the citizens the reasons that made Caesar's death necessary. Brutus tells the crowd that he loved Caesar, but he loved Rome even more. He slew Caesar because he was ambitious and would have made slaves of all of them. Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. He so works upon the mob that Brutus and Cassius are forced to ride like madmen out of Rome. Brutus fails to win over the crowd because he appeals to their mind. Antony succeeds because he appeals to their heart. Very, very important. This scene shows the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. Very, very important. This scene shows the power of verbal persuasion to achieve political power. The citizens demand to know why Caesar was murdered. Brutus calmly explains to the citizens the reason that made Caesar's death necessary. Brutus tells the crowd that he moved Caesar but loved Rome even more. He slew Caesar because he was ambitious and would have made slaves of them all. Antony's emotional speech describes Caesar's love for Rome and his sympathy for the Romans. He shows them Caesar's wounds and reads out the contents of his will. He also works upon the mob that Brutus and Cassius are forced to ride like madmen out of Rome. Brutus fails to win over the crowd because he appeals to their mind. Antony succeeds because he appeals to their heart. The holy place, mane the forum, a place for religious and political life in Rome. Act uh, Act 2, Scene 3. A small violent scene which highlights the consequences of Antony's speech on the mob. Cinna the poet dreamt during night of feasting with Caesar. When he comes into the streets, the mob surround him and ask him several questions. They presume that he is Cinna the conspirator, so they beat him up and probably kill him. It is ironic that the conspirators wanted to establish a republican state, but in reality they turned the republic into an unruly mob. Act 3, Scene 3. A small violent scene which highlights the consequences of Antony's speech on the mob. Cinna the poet dreamed during the night of feasting with Caesar. Dreamed at night, Cinna the poet dreamt of feasting with Caesar. When he came to the street, the mob surround him and ask him several questions. They presume that he is Cinna, the conspirator, so they beat him up and probably kill him. This is ironic that the conspirators wanted to establish a republican state, but in reality turned the republic into an unruly mob. Turned the republic into an unruly mob. Act 4, Scene 1. After the flight of Brutus and Cassius, the triumvirate, that is, the joint rule of Antony, Octavius, Lepidus, এটাই triumvirate, the joint rule of Antony, Octavius, and Lepidus is gaining political power in Rome. They were purging Rome of those who led the coup, 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 which troubled Caesar. They are purging Rome of those who led the coup which toppled Caesar, TOPPLED, যারা ধ্বংস করে দিয়েছিল সিজারকে, সেইটাকে পার্জ আউট করে দিতে চাইছে, মুছে দিতে চাইছে রোম থেকে। দে আর পার্জিং রোম অফ দোজ হু লেড দ্য কুপ which toppled Caesar. They are even tossing away the lives of their own relations and friends. Antony is shown as ruthless, playing with the lives of friends and relations. He makes use of Lepidus as an asset, intends to usurp his power and finally turn him out. He has no regard for friendship or principles. They are even tossing away the lives of their own relations and friends. Antony is shown as ruthless, playing with the lives of friends and relations. He makes use of Lepidus as an asset, intends to usurp his power and finally turn him out. He has no regard for friendship or principles. Barren spirited মানে devoid of true spirit. এবার Act 4, Scene 2. This scene takes place in Sardis in Asia Minor. সার্ডিসটা হচ্ছে এশিয়া মাইনরে। Brutus and Cassius are in command of their armies. They are joining at Sardis on their way to meet Antony and Octavius. Brutus complains that Cassius has offended him. Sorry. They are joining at Sardis on their way to meet Antony and Octavius. Brutus complains that Cassius had offended him. Cassius too accuses Brutus of having wronged him. The two generals order their subordinates to lead off the armies so that both the armies will not see them quarreling. The two generals order their subordinates to lead off the armies so that both the armies will not see them quarreling. যাতে তারা ঝগড়া করছে না দেখতে পায়। Brutus and Cassius retire to the privacy of the former's tent. Brutus আর Cassius retired to the privacy of the former's tent. Former মানে ব্রুটাসের টেন্টে গেল to sort out their differences. এবার Act 4, Scene 3. Brutus and Cassius continue their conversation within the tent. Cassius complains that Brutus has punished Lucius Pella for accepting bribes. Brutus accuses Cassius of taking bribes by selling official positions to men of little merit. After some argument, Brutus informs Cassius that Portia is dead. Cassius expresses great sorrow. The two leaders agree to advance their armies to Philippi and engage Antony and Lepidus. Then Brutus bids good night to Cassius and others. Alone at night, Brutus is unable to sleep. The ghost of Caesar appears and announces that Brutus will see it at Philippi. Brutus decides to march to Philippi for one of the most decisive battles in the history. Act 4, Scene 3 কি হলো? Brutus আর Cassius continue করলো তাদের conversation within the tent. Cassius complains that Brutus has punished Lucius Pella for accepting bribes. Brutus accuses Cassius of taking bribes by selling official positions to men of little merit. After some argument, Brutus informs Cassius that Portia is dead. Cassius expresses great sorrow. The two leaders agree to advance their armies to Philippi and engage Antony and Octavius. Then Brutus bids good night to Cassius and others. Alone at night, Brutus is unable to sleep. The ghost of Caesar appears and announces that Brutus will see it at Philippi. Brutus decides to march to Philippi for one of the most decisive battles in the history. হ্যাঁ, এটা খুব ইম্পর্টেন্ট। The flint is a cold stone, yet when it's struck by steel, it gives out fire. ফ্লিন্ট জিনিসটা কি একটা কোল্ড স্টোন, একটা ঠান্ডা পাথর। when it is struck by steel, যখন একটা স্টিল দিয়ে মারা হয়, it gives out fire. after which it is cold as before, তারপরে আবার যে স্টিলটা দিয়ে ওটাই মারা হয়, ফ্লিন্টটাতে FLINT ফ্লিন্ট, তখনই ওটা মানে মারার সময় when it is stuck by steel তখনই ওটা ফায়ার দেয়, it gives out fire, কিন্তু again it becomes turns cold as before. Brutus says he is like a flint, he has momentary spark of temper, then he is as calm as before. এটা যখন ওই আর্গুমেন্টটা চলছিল কেশিয়াসের সাথে Act 4 Scene 3 তে, তখন এইটা বলেছিল। আর এইটা ছিল এই যে ফ্লো, হাই টাইড। দ্য ইমেজারি অফ হাই অ্যান্ড লো টাইড is used to indicate opportunities that come to us. If we do not take advantage of them at their best, we lose. Ki the imagery of the high and low tide is used to indicate opportunities that come to us. If we do not take advantage of them at their best, we lose. How থেকে Barnes মানে references to the Elizabethan superstition. It was believed that a candle would turn blue if a ghost appeared. কি how থেকে Barnes reference to Elizabethan superstition. এটা একটা Elizabethan superstition যেখানে it is believed that a candle বা taper would burn blue if a ghost appeared. সঙ্গে সঙ্গে একটা টেপার সবসময় ব্লু হয়ে যাবে, একটা ক্যান্ডেল ব্লু হয়ে যাবে একটা ভূত এলেই। এবার MACE মেস মানে during Shakespeare's days in legal proceedings an officer touched a man on the shoulder with an official staff symbolizing his arrest. Here sleep is personified as an arresting officer. স্লিপকে অ্যারেস্টিং অফিসারের সাথে তুলনা করা হয়েছে। এবার Act 5 Scene 1 এখানে আছে হাইবলা, আ মাউন্টেন ইন সিসিলি নোন ফর ইটস হানি। হাইবলা কি? আ মাউন্টেন ইন সিসিলি নোন ফর ইটস হানি। They rob bees. According to Cassius, Antony can speak so sweetly that it appears as if he had taken away all the sweet honey from the bees. The funeral oration justifies this accusation. Accusation. According to Cassius, Antony can speak so sweetly that it appears as if he had taken away all the sweet honey from the bees. The funeral oration justifies this accusation. এটা সত্যি funeral orationটা সত্যি justify করে এই accusationটাকে। Here Cassius blames Brutus for not listening to him earlier. Mark Antony would not have been able to be so offensive if Cassius' advice to kill him had been taken. Okay? Cassius blames Brutus for not listening to him earlier. Mark Antony would not have been able Mark can be so offensive if Cassius' advice to kill him had been taken. মানে বুঝতে পারা যাচ্ছে না। Pompey. At the battle of Pharsalia, Pompey had to fight against his against Caesar. Pompey lost. Pompey কে at the battle of Pharsalia, Pharsalia. Pharsalia, Pompey had to fight against Caesar, and Pompey lost the battle. আরেকটা যে ছিল সেই সুইসাইড নিয়ে সেটা আছে I shall act according to that philosophy মানে stoicism which made me censure Cato. I shall act according to that philosophy কি philosophy অনুযায়ী অ্যাক্ট করব যে stoicism which made me censure Cato. আগে আমি Cato মানে Porcius' father for committing suicide. Cato fought against Caesar on Pompey's side. He killed himself to avoid being captured by Caesar. Cato কখনো fought against Caesar on Pompey's side, মানে by taking Pompey's side. He killed himself to avoid being captured by Caesar. Stoicism taught that men should bear all suffering with patience and courage. According to Stoicism, suicide is a cowardly act. The providence থেকে below, the destiny ordained by the gods who govern us on earth. Very, very important. Destiny ordained by the gods who govern us on earth. এবার act 5 scene 1. On the plain of Philippi, Octavius and Antony with their forces await Brutus. Cassius and their forces, Brutus, Cassius ki on the plain of Philippi, Octavius, Antony with their forces, on the plain of Philippi, ফিলিপিতে Octavius, Antony আর Brutus, Cassius আর forces সবাই একসাথে, Antony and Octavius with their forces await Brutus, Cassius and their forces. অ্যান্টনি আর অক্টেভিয়াস তার ফোর্স নিয়ে রেডি ছিল, উল্টো দিকে ব্রুটাস আর কেশিয়াস তাদের ফোর্স নিয়ে রেডি ছিল। অ্যান্টনি রিবিউকস ব্রুটাস ফর দ্য মার্ডার অফ সিজার অ্যান্ড দেন withdraws to prepare for war. The taunting between the opposing army generals takes place. Meanwhile, Cassius confides to Mizala that it is his birthday, but he fears it will be his death day too. He speaks of bad omens that he has seen which suggest defeat of his side. Cassius and Brutus make up their minds to die rather than be taken prisoners. They go to battle with their negative attitude. এবার Act 5, Scene 3. The signals are given for the battle to start, and the plain of Philippi is alive with troop movements. Brutus gives to Mizala messages for Cassius which urge an immediate attack. কি বলছে signals are given for the battle to start. সিগন্যাল দেওয়া হলো ব্যাটল স্টার্ট করার জন্য। দ্য প্লেন অফ ফিলিপি ইজ অ্যালাইভ উইথ ট্রুপ মুভমেন্টস, প্লেন অফ ফিলিপি একদম লাইভলি হয়ে আছে উইথ ট্রুপ মুভমেন্টস। ব্রুটাস গিভস টু মিজালা মেসেজ ফর কেশিয়াস উইচ আর্জ অ্যান ইমিডিয়েট অ্যাটাক। ব্রুটাস মিজালাকে একটা কোনো মেসেজ দিল কেশিয়াসকে দেওয়ার জন্য হুইচ আর্জ অ্যান ইমিডিয়েট অ্যাটাক, যাতে তারা চটপট অ্যাটাক করে। Brutus's judgment is based on the belief that Octavius's forces are timid and lack fighting spirit. ব্রুটাস মনে করলো এই বিশ্বাস করলো যে অক্টেভিয়াসের ফোর্স হচ্ছে টিমিড অ্যান্ড ল্যাক ফাইটিং স্পিরিট অ্যান্ড দ্যাট আ সাডেন অ্যাটাক উড বি ইনাফ টু ডিফিট দেম, তাই একটা সাডেন অ্যাটাক তাদেরকে ধ্বংস করে দেবে। উই লার্ন লেটার দ্যাট হি মেক্স এন এরর বাই গিভিং দ্য ওয়ার্ড ফর দ্য ব্যাটল টু সুন। পরে বোঝা গেল যে অত তাড়াতাড়ি যে ব্যাটলটা শুরু করেছিল সেটা ঠিক করেনি। Act 5, Scene 3. Brutus's premature attack exposes Cassius to be surrounded by the army. ব্রুটাসের প্রিম্যাচিওর অ্যাটাক কেশিয়াসকে এক্সপোজ করে দিল to be surrounded by the enemy. Antony's forces have defeated the army led by Cassius. Cassius sends Pindarus to the top of the hill to study the situation. When Pindarus reports more disaster, Cassius orders him to kill. মানে Cassius orders Pindarus to kill him. মানে Cassius. Pindarus has made an error of judgment. In fact, Titinius brings the news that Brutus has been victorious over Octavius. Finding Cassius dead, Titinius kills himself. Brutus comes and sees Cassius dead. He promises to mourn for the death of his friend later when the battle is over. কি হলো Act 5 Scene 3 তে Brutus's premature attack exposes Cassius to be Cassius and he is surrounded by the enemy. Antony's forces have defeated the army led by Cassius. Cassius sends Pindarus to the top of the hill to study the situation. When Pindarus reports that Ye is surrounded, Titinius is surrounded by the enemies and he is being captivated, Cassius orders him to kill him. মানে Cassius orders Pindarus to kill uh, Cassius. Pindarus has made an error of judgment. In fact, Titinius brings the news, কিন্তু বাস্তবে কি হলো, Titinius brings the news that Brutus has been victorious over Octavius. Finding Cassius dead, Titinius kills himself. Brutus comes and sees Cassius dead. He promises to mourn for the death of his friend later when the battle is over. Romans consider it as a duty to commit suicide if defeated. এই যে রোমান part, মানে Romans considered it as a duty to commit suicide if defeated. Thassos হচ্ছে an island near the coast of Greece. Thassos, an island near the coast of Greece. The last Romans, মানে the last man fit to be called a Roman. এটা বোধহয় কেশিয়াসের ব্যাপারে বলেছে। Next, scene Act 5, Scene 4. Fate is closing in on Brutus. Portia is dead, and young Cato, his brother-in-law, is slain by the enemy. Lucilius, one of Brutus's officers, is captured by Antony's soldiers who think erroneously that he is Brutus. কি হয়েছে? Fate is closing in on Brutus. Portia is dead. Portia dead হয়ে গেছে. Young Cato, his brother-in-law, is slain by the enemy. Young Cato যে কিনা ব্রাদার ইন ল অফ ব্রুটাস, মানে পোর্শিয়ার ভাই হচ্ছে ইয়াং কেটো, বাবা কেটো আর ভাই ইয়াং কেটো, সেও মারা গেছে, পোর্শিয়াও মারা গেছে। লুসিলিয়াস, ওয়ান অফ ব্রুটাসেস অফিসার্স, ইজ ক্যাপচার্ড বাই অ্যান্টনি সোলজার। লুসিলিয়াসকেও ক্যাপচার করে নিয়েছে, হু থিঙ্ক এরোনাসলি দ্যাট হি ইজ erroneously, erroneously, erroneously that he is Brutus, ভুল করে তাকে ব্রুটাস ভেবেছে। When Antony comes on the scene, he recognizes Lucilius and orders that he should be treated well. One realizes that Brutus may lose the battle, but he has won the loyalty of his friends. এটা সত্যি, Brutus lost the battle, but he had won the loyalty of his friends. Next, Act 5, Scene 5. Brutus and the conspirators succeeded in assassinating Caesar, but they failed to kill his spirit. His ghost appearing to Brutus introduced the final movement of the action. The conspirators are defeated, and Brutus chooses to die with Caesar's name on his lips rather than be captured. Octavius's officer Octavius offers service to all who have served Brutus. Finally, Antony speaks in the praise of Brutus by referring to him as the noblest Roman of them all. Here ends the tragedy with the resolution of the main action. Caesar has been avenged. Brutus has won more honor by his defeat than Octavius and Antony by their victory. Caesar has been avenged. Brutus has won more honor by his defeat than Octavius and Antony by their victory. আর এই কথাটা ইম্পর্টেন্ট, অল কনস্পিরেটর্স এক্সেপ্ট ব্রুটাস ডিড what they did in envy of Caesar. Brutus only joined the conspirators because he honestly believed that Caesar should be killed for the general good of all. According to the Elizabethans, the human body had 4 elements. এই যে the elements, এই কথাটার মানে, according to Elizabethans, the human body had 4 elements: earth, air, fire and water. A man's nature was determined by the presence of the predominant element in him. For example, excess of fire would give rise to choleric temperament. The perfect human nature had a balance of all the 4 elements. Act 5, Scene 5. Brutus and the conspirators succeeded in assassinating Caesar, but they failed to kill his spirit. His ghost appearing to Brutus introduced the final movement of the action. The conspirators are defeated, and Brutus chooses to die with Caesar's name on his lips rather than be captured. Octavius offers service to all who have served Brutus. Finally, Antony speaks in the praise of Brutus by referring him to as the noblest Roman of them all. Here ends the tragedy with the resolution of the main action. Caesar has been avenged. Brutus has won more honor by his defeat than Octavius and Antony by their victory.